Ya estando la música, ya empieza.
I love micheladas.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the I Love Micheladas show. Another episode. We have today with us the Hood Foodie, Alexander.
What's up, familia?
What's up, Alexander? Hey, thanks for coming through, dude.
Now, hey, you know what? First and foremost, thank you for the invitation. It's huge. You know, like I said, I know your background, the Guelaguetza, I love micheladas, smorgasburg, the whole deal, and I'm very fortunate to get invited. You know.
No, thanks for coming by. I mean, everybody's welcome here. We're super fortunate that people take their time. You took your time from your day and tell us kind of your story, right? Like, I was looking through your Instagram, and you've been now for 3 years.
It's gonna be a little bit over 3 years that we started the Hood Foodie.
That's commitment, dude.
Yeah.
What made you start the Hood Foodie?
You know what? A lot of people think that I kind of focused on doing this, but actually, I didn't even know what I was getting myself into.
Kind of stumbled into it.
Yeah, and I think how we were talking prior to this, I think it stems from from a young years of coming in right out of high school. I lost my parents, and always been a C student. Never really never expected anything out of me. So when I lost them, I think that was a crucial time for me to have needed them for guidance. I do have siblings, but everybody was doing their own thing. So for a long time I was in a very dark place until I almost hit like 37 years old, where I started feeling sorry for myself. I stopped feeling sorry for myself, and alcohol played a huge role in my family. I knew that I was depressed, so it started from there, where I just stopped drinking from one to the next.
Just like that.
Just like that. So I was like, okay, let's work on ourselves. Let's start, to love ourselves. Love ourselves, and then so I started going to psychiatry. They diagnosed me with bipolar depression. So all they were doing is like feeding me medication. Went to my primary physician. They gave me some pre-diabetic medication. So as I took both of them at once, they had actually clashed. I was losing my sight. All kinds of crazy stuff was going. So what did I do? I stopped medication from one day to the next. So what happened with that was that I found myself the next day at work, during lunchtime at work, contemplating suicide. Wanted to reach out to my wife, but then not knowing how she was gonna react.
Yeah.
Her husband was gonna contact her like, "Hey, I'm ready."
That's what I'm thinking about this.
Yeah, like I'm ready to take myself out. So actually, I went through previous people. I called my sister. I kind of worked myself up to it, and then I finally reached out to her. She was just like, "Hold on, we'll take you to the hospital afterwards." So after that, I ended up at Mission Community College under 5150 hold.
Yeah, and that's kind of like when they take you against your own will, kind of, right?
Correct. It's like a psychiatric, evaluation hold, and so it's supposed to be like 72 hours. They're supposed to let you go after 72 hours, unless they don't feel that you're fit to, be in society.
Yeah.
So I ended up being there for 10 days.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, man, I was basically inside a state asylum, just kind of like looking around and thinking like, wow, like, have I actually hit rock bottom? Is this like the lowest that that I've ever been? And yeah, once I was in there, I just felt like I was they were feeding me something that I was trying to get away from. So once coming out of there, I decided to reduce the medication because you see the side effects.
Yeah.
Like I experienced the side effects. Like so my goal was to kind of get off of them. There were still like side effects afterwards, where I was at home emotionless. Like my wife was like right next to me, asking me that she needed her husband. She needs her husband, the parent of her kids. Laugh with them, play with them again.
Be the same person you used to be.
Correct. And that went on for a few months afterwards. until I actually opened up social media with the handle the Hood Foodie.
Damn.
And then I was just basically going to like all the mom and pop shops that I grew up with.
Yeah. But when you started that handle, were you thinking? Did you have what was the plan behind it? Like, did you know that you're gonna be kind of like not a food critic, but like a food? That you wanted to try all these places out, or were you doing it just to occupy your time? What was the why that handle as opposed to Alexander _ whatever?
Correct. And I get what you're saying because the Hood Foodie.
Yeah.
I mean, I've always loved food. I mean, since the day that I came out of my mom, I was asking for milk. So it's yeah. I mean, so with that, it's I don't know. I started taking images. I noticed that there was like a lot of people taking images, so I kind of wanted, as a hobby, just like I said, post up the mom and pop shops that I grew up with, where that's like the origin of where all this food, like this commercial food, comes from. So it's like, it was just a hobby. Like I was just, I wanted to take good pictures. I wanted to entice people, later to find out this hobby that I was putting together, somebody kind of like had to slap me around and made me understand what I was doing, because they're like, you do understand what you're doing, right? And I'm like, no. Okay, well, you're giving a voice to people that might not have a voice. Yeah. So when that, when they hit me with that, like I started realizing the impact that we were having. And I took it and I ran with it. And and with that, I want to feel that we created the movement, because all my projects started, like, for some reason, I'm from the 818, but all my projects for some reason started in LA. Yeah. So I want to believe that we created the movement that kind of leveled everything out, because like I said, when I started it was very commercialized. Social media in the foodie world.
What do you mean, everything was like kind of upscale-ish, kind of like non-attainable?
Correct. And so now it's like you have these huge accounts, promoting,
hold on a second, let me put this up here. Promoting taqueros?
Yeah, promoting taqueros, fruteros, elotes.
Yeah, all the hood things.
Exactly. So now if you look at social media on the foodie world, like, you see everything and anybody.
And you feel like you're one of the first people trying to kind of do that on that end?
I don't want to take away the credit from the people that, paved the way for us, but I feel like...
You're one of them.
Yeah, I was part of that movement, in LA.
What are the like... How have the places that you visit changed from when you started to now? Do you feel like the way you approach it changed? Or do you feel like the places you've visited are changing?
Changing as far as...
Just like, like growth. Like, what are you doing different now that you weren't doing back then?
Well, see, like I said, I mean, this was not nothing that I was kind of looking into for it to happen. So... where I want to go with this is that, me helping support the communities has actually replaced medication for me. Okay. So this what I do, I do this, for the passion, for the love. So I feel like this has been medicating me. And to kind of answer your question, I'm not a person, that critiques. I don't rate. I just like to show, love and support to, to the world. Yeah. So with that, my whole cause is giving the business a platform, and then kind of, them having, to, grab it and run with it. And to answer once again your question, it's very heartwarming when I revisit some of these places, and they'll say like, oh, what we dealt with so and so and so, nothing came about it, blah blah blah. But one thing is that we're always gonna remember you, because you were the first one that gave us an opportunity.
That's super dope.
And how can that not fulfill you? Like, like right now, I run on love and support. Yeah. And with that, I believe something bigger is coming out of it. you know. So I'm, you know, I think it's evolving to be something bigger than food. You know, I'm putting myself out there, you know, trying to help the community as far as, you know, blankets for the homeless, you know, or, you know, visiting the orphans on my birthday weekend and Ensenada, because, you know, that's what I felt I need to do. You know, and just so many other projects that are going to be coming up with, you know,
from this Hood Foodie.
Correct.
Being like the Hood Foodie, I'm sure, I mean, you know, getting back to like the food side, right? Correct. It's like, now that you try so many places and people know you has your approach to food been different? Like, do you now taste things different? I know you say you don't critique or anything, but do you now like overanalyze things? Is it harder now to kind of like go just anywhere as opposed to like look out for the best things? Or are you still just trying everything?
Oh no, I'm trying everything, but at the same time, even at home, it's funny because before I would like, you know, devour like a whole plate, but now it's like, you know, like now I look for like a certain taste, like it's crazy. It's crazy you asked that, because now it's like every time I eat, like I need to taste the love.
Yeah, it needs to be at least a certain amount of good.
Correct.
Are there places that you used to go and now you're like, I'm like, they're not as good as I thought they were, now that I've experienced so many other things? You don't have to name them out.
No. I'm not. I mean, obviously there's, you know,
even like fast food. Like I know some people that like grew up with fast food, still had that fascination, but now that they transition, now they understand food or eat so many other things, they're like, I can't go back to this, or, you know, I can't go back to that.
I ain't gonna lie. I mean, even though we're hood, like, you know, we'll still try, you know, like the other day I was craving a Big Carl, you know, with some crisp cut fries and soda, and, you know, yeah, I mean, you know, there's certain, you know, like you said, certain dishes that you just grew up with that, you know, like you need, sometimes your taste buds need those flavors.
Yeah, cravings.
Correct. So, but I mean, I get that question a lot, as far as like, you know, if there's something that you don't like, do you post or whatnot? But you know what, you know, knock on wood, there hasn't been too many places that I can think of or that I can remember that was like really bad. I mean, everything at least was decent. Yeah. And like I said, like my cause is to, you know, give the business a platform, you know, because what makes me think that you have the same palate as I do.
Yeah, no, and I have this conversation a lot with a lot of people who say this is the best of this or the best of that. Like, it's hard. It's, you know, food is subjective. It's not just, there's not one best of something, right? Correct. It's your own personal opinion.
Correct. Everybody has, you know, different flavors, different palates. Yeah. So I don't think, you know, at least for me, it makes it justice for me to like, oh yeah, give it a rating or, you know, critique it. As far as like being a critic, I dislike the critic word, because of the fact that, you know, people with platforms can make or break a business. Yeah. And I am not about that. Yeah. I'm not about that.
What is a perfect day for you in terms of food? Like let's say, well, you know, my friend asked me this question the other day. I thought it was a great question. He said, if you had to leave LA and you could only visit 3 restaurants before you left, you could never come back to it, what 3 places would you visit? Because it's not necessarily asking what's the best food, right? It's just what's the best to you. It's a very personal question.
The memorable dishes.
Exactly.
Like I said, I mean, like I mentioned before, obviously, you know, las patas en Galaguetza, they're fire. You know, I visited Teddy's Red Tacos at a very young age. Yeah, I mean, right now he blew up. Yeah. But I do gotta say, like.
Well, cheers.
Cheers.
Before we continue on this food tour.
Wait. Like my boy Edgar says, cheers, motherfucker.
Cheers, motherfucker.
Oh, shit.
You good?
Yeah, I haven't had a michelada in a minute, so.
Well, we got a virgin for you.
Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate that, man. I know you guys went out of your way for.
Oh man, no. Micheladas for everybody. You said Teddy Red Tacos.
Teddy Red Tacos. And the burrito, a big burrito.
Which one?
In Canoga Park.
Big burrito, Canoga Park.
Correct.
I haven't been, man. I gotta go.
Yeah, they're pretty fire. But I'm very fortunate that. Do I get to, if I leave LA, do I take my wife? Because
yeah, you take your family, right? Like you take everybody. But I'm saying just in terms of restaurants.
No, because a lot of people for some reason label me as like the taco king of LA, or like or oh yeah, he knows everything about food. But to tell you the truth, I mean, I just help promote businesses. Like like I'm more of a consumer than a chef.
Yeah.
I'm flattered. I'm flattered that I always get We
have experience, right? Experience is worth a lot.
Correct.
I mean, not a lot of people have gone out and tried as many places as you have.
Correct.
And that's what separates. Most people. There's a statistic. Most people eat at the same 5 places, most of the time.
Crazy.
It's like 4 places and maybe 1 they'll rotate. But if you ask an average person, they'll say they go out a lot of places, but they stick to like 4 places.
Correct.
And they'll rotate like 1 place. It seems like you go out of your way to try, and you rotate all your 5.
Correct.
Do you have a place that you visit more often? Like when you come home and you're tired, something that's just quick. What's your go-to place?
Something quick. Even though I don't.
Well, not even quick. Just like you're like, you know what? I'm just craving this because it's just.
Oh, there's a few. I mean, there's a big fat burger. No, sorry, Big Fat in the city of Reseda. That's
Fat?
like my like mom and pop shop burger joint.
It's a burger joint?
Yeah.
I love burger joints.
Yeah, everything, from steak fries and everything. Ask them for the number 8, the Hood Foodie special.
Number 8. What's the place called?
It's Big Fat.
Big Fat.
Big Fat.
What street's it on?
It's on Satakoy and White Oak.
Okay.
Yeah, in front of on the other side of the Little Caesars, there's a Bank of America and all that. So yeah, that's like my mom and pop shop burger joint.
Big Fat. I love it.
There's Birreria San Marcos. Like I said, I don't drink, but sometimes in the morning I feel crudo. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, I'm gonna hit Birreria San Marcos, for me to wake up with some nice warm birria. There's quite a few places, but honestly, like my wife can cook.
Damn.
So, and that's where I was going. Like a lot of people think that like I know about food, this and that. It's crazy because I just even started learning more about Mexico. Yeah. Like I thought, I knew about Mexican food. Arroz, frijoles, carne asada, this and that. Little to find out that Oaxaca does banana peel style tamales. Every little town has like their little different niche.
It's so diverse.
It could be like menudo, but then there's could be like 12 different menudos. What is it? Mole. There's like 40 different moles. Like it's insane. So a lot of people think that I've experienced all that, but I just got started with the foodie world. Like I said 3 years ago. But I'm very humble that they already praise me at such a high praise, and it's humbling.
Non-Hispanic, non-American food. What's like your go-to?
Non-Hispanic. Let's see, Thai.
Me too, dude.
Thai food.
Me too.
Spices, the broths.
I love Thai food.
Yeah, I have to say, Thai food. It's funny you say that again because yesterday I was craving Thai food. I normally don't crave it, but
I'm craving it now that you mentioned it. You gone to Micheladas?
No, where's that?
You go in Hollywood. It's on I think Sunset and Harvard.
No, you know what? Maybe I have.
There's that. There's Pa Ord around there too. So many great Thai places.
There's the one that I go to. Oh man, I forgot their name, but it's right there on Orozco and Woodman, behind the Kaiser. I'll send you the link.
Are they on your Instagram?
Yeah. No, I haven't. I never. Actually, I think I reached out to them to see if they wanted to promote, but I there's certain places that they're not into that, so you got to respect them. But yeah, I would love to promote them. They got some really good Thai food, authentic Thai food cuisine.
I like that. What'd you think of Smorgasburg?
It's I don't. It's like the farmers market, like the most famous farmer market downtown LA every Sunday. Every time I go, it's like once I sit down, it's like people start bringing me plates, and this last time, I had plates from Love Hour, Middy's Tacos, Machine. Yeah, it was. Everybody was just like.
Yeah, I love that place.
It's kind of bad when I go because they kind of overfeed me. But no, it's an awesome place. You know, if you guys haven't checked that out, it's a must to. You know, especially all you foodies. But yeah, it's a pretty awesome place to spend your Sundays.
Is there another city other than LA that you're interested in visiting? Or trying out the food scene?
I mean, right now, we're trying to take this worldwide. Like 2020, there's gonna be some. I'm hoping projected some huge projects. But yeah, once again with this whole foodie, Renaissance. Once I started, because I was never about the numbers. I was just trying to be as organic as possible, relatable.
That's the best way to do it.
Yeah,
that's how we've done it.
Yeah, and like I said, the numbers for me, I could do without. For me, what I noticed, it was like the projects.
Yeah.
I had a young following. Because then I started, creating dishes with the people that I was helping support.
Oh, that's dope.
I was certifying restaurants. McDonald's reached out to me at 3,000 followers, which is like unheard of. So that was the relationship that started as an internship with potential partnership. And what was it? A month ago, I just signed my first paid sponsorship with them.
Ooh, big ups.
And I've been, podcast interviews. I was with Martin and Juder Moreno, podcasts. I've been, a bunch of podcast interviews, show interviews, the B-side show interview. I LOVE Micheladas.
And all this just from food. I mean, so your trajectory of your life it's amazing.
Well, and see, that's what I was going towards as far as like people think that like I planned this, I've been putting in work, I
haven't putting in work.
You know what? It doesn't feel like it. It doesn't feel like it because I think, because I'm so passionate about it. You know what they say, you never work a day in your life when you do something you're passionate about or you love. So for me, it's like, I don't feel like I've lifted a finger. And with it, I've met from, the likes of Andrew Zimmern. I've been, with Gordon Ramsay at a Gordon Ramsay show. I came out on to film. I really good friends with Zdras Ochoa. Like we're super close. I found out about him in Mexicali.
Yeah.
And then we connected, and ever since, we've had a strong connection.
Visit him in Tokyo.
Yeah. Well, he has a bunch of restaurants. He's still opening them up. He's blowing up. Big shout out! Today's his birthday.
Oh, no way!
So Zdras, happy birthday!
Happy birthday! Well, 2 weeks delayed because I think that this will drop in 2 weeks. But
okay. But either way, happy birthday, Mijo. To Chef Ludo, to Aaron Sanchez. I mean, I just been putting myself out there, and like I've been coming across like all these amazing people. I've been fortunate to get into a huge Latino media, community, where they've just been like blowing me up. I got invited to Hispanicize, which is like Hispanicize is like the biggest Latino media event that happens annually. Not only that, they invited me to present an award for the best food blogger content creator of the year. Damn! And I did it with the representative of Nestle and Maggi. So I got to network there as well. Yeah. And I was there with my chest high, because you got to give yourself credit. Yeah. And as we were introducing each other, as I was introducing myself to people, one of the biggest things was like, oh, so you're the Hood Foodie. You're the one that everybody's talking about. But I'm not gonna lie, what happened at Hispanicize has created a huge impact on me, and that's like we mentioned before. Like that's why I don't understand, or I haven't understood the impact that I have on people, because as I was walking around Hispanicize, I heard somebody call me. They're like, Hood Foodie. And I turned around and there was this girl, and I was like, "Familia?" She's like, "Yeah, what's up?" So we hugged her, everything, and then she looks at me. She's like, "I want to thank you," and I thank me for what? She's like, I owe all my success to you.
Oh shit.
And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, I am where I'm at because of you. I mean, how do you respond to that? First of all, I didn't even know I was gonna be doing the Hood Foodie. You know, second of all, like, I've always been, you know, transparent. You know, I always talk about like mental health because I struggle from it. You know, autism because my kids, you know, are autistic. Diabetes, you know, obviously we're in the foodie game, and my family, you know, my whole family, you know, diabetes runs in my family. To now, like we mentioned, it seems like it's bigger now, and I have a platform.
Yeah.
And now 2020, I want to utilize it to the fullest, because now I'm understanding like everything that I put out there. You know, when I did the podcast with Martin Moreno and Hooter, you know, that was kind of like the first time that I spoke about mental health, and so many people reached out to me. And if we can prevent one suicide, that means the world to me. Because I remember being that person when I felt I felt like I didn't have nobody.
Yeah.
You know, depression is a motherfucker because, you know, it takes you to a dark place. You know, you don't believe in yourself. You feel like, you know, the world's caving on you. And I remember that, like, you know, like it was yesterday. So, you know, understanding your platform and being a voice and helping others, and, you know, I mean, I think it's going to go a long ways, you know, for us 2020. With that, you know, like I said, a lot of people have been helping me. Like, you know, the other day, you know, Roxy from Roxy's World reached out to me. She was like, hey, you know, let's, you know, I was craving one of those mariscos that you posted. You know, and I don't know if you guys know Roxy, man. She's like the Latina queen of social media. Like, you know, like her Instagram, I mean, yeah, she has like 144,000 followings, but her Snapchat views get up to 70 million.
Jesus.
So how do you think I felt when Roxy reached out to me? She's like, I want to go eat some mariscos with you. We went to go eat some mariscos.
Where'd you guys go?
We went to El Doctor del Valle had just opened up a new location in Pacoima.
Okay.
So I took her in the hood of Pacoima. She loved it. You know, it's crazy because I never really understood the word of an influencer until I met her. Because as soon as she put me on her stories, bro, I started getting followings from that point to the next.
Damn.
And I know Edgar, he hates the word, you know, influencer, but I was like, wow, like that's an influencer.
Yeah.
You know, and once again, going back to it, like, how do you think I felt when I guess her, you know, following reacted to it very positively.
Yeah.
And she was like, we're gonna start Snack Attack. Me and you, we're gonna start hitting up mom and pop shops. We're gonna help support them, and we're gonna take this worldwide. I mean, you know, like I said, everybody's like helping me, uplifting me. You know, there's so many people involved. You know, like Jose Resendez, my boy Rudy from Latinx Network. There's just so many people that, you know, that are helping me just, you know, grow and support the cause.
Congratulations, man. Dude, that's a big way to come from where you were to now this.
Oh man, it's great.
Congratulations.
And it's a trip because by just you saying that, I remember maybe like 2 weeks ago, me and my wife were driving around, and even she was surprised because she thought it was over. Like she thought I was not coming back.
Yeah.
We were having the conversation like it was just yesterday, like everything that was happening to us. You know, there was like sometimes, you know, there would be situations where like we were left with nothing, and we would ask God, like, why us, God? Like, you know, we're not bad people. Why? And I think, like I said, you know, I feel that you end up at where you're at because of your past. Everything that happened prior, you know, to you has built up to where you're at now.
Yeah.
Right. Also, you know, going into 2020, our bigger projects are, you know, putting rolling with the Hood Foodie events, which is, events being put together for you to experience what I experience when I go visit these mom and pop shops. And I've always been like puro pinche party, and I want like food, I want music, I want people having fun, dancing, the whole 9 yards. And creating content episode style to just pitch directly to networks, because casting crews have reached out, but they're always looking for a specific type. So
you want you to play a character.
Correct. So we haven't hit that niche, but eventually, I feel something bigger is gonna come out of this. I feel because like I said, I never chose this.
Yeah.
I feel like this chose me. So I go to networking events. There's these stories of like all these my peers in the panel. Like, oh, we put in hard work, but I can't say that. I can't say that because everything's been putting itself together.
Yeah.
Meeting some amazing people like Edgar from Beer Thug Live. I mean, it's just Roxy. I mean, there's just so many people to thank.
Well, congrats, man, and thanks for coming through.
No, yeah, for sure, man, for sure. Thank you for having me, man.
Everything you've gone through, everything where you've been, and everything's well deserved.
Thank you, appreciate that.
Much respect, and congratulations for the future. Cheers. Cheers, motherfuckers.
Cheers, motherfuckers.
Thanks for coming on. Eric, please, if you like this story, it was really inspiring, really dope. Please share, subscribe, and tell your friends.
Yeah, make sure you guys come out, support, and tell them that the Hood Foodie sent you.
There you go. That's the outro right there.